Hi guys, in the first video earlier, well in previous video I should have said, we looked at multiplying a difference of two squares. So by now we should be familiar sorry, with what a difference of two squares means. Now just a quick refresher course, we said that if we had, let's say for example, A and B in one bracket, that's what a square means. A square means something is multiplying itself. Okay, that's what this word means, square, that something is multiplying itself. However, difference means to subtract, so we would say put a minus inside one bracket and put a plus in the other. So now we're basically saying A times A, we're using this A to multiply A, so we would get A square. And then we're saying A times this B, so that would gives us a positive AB. And then a negative B times a positive A would give us a negative AB. And then negative B times positive B will give us a negative B square. Now if you notice what's happening, the middle terms would cancel out. So positive AB will cancel out with negative AB. So therefore I'm left with, okay, let me just put my sign, this implies. So therefore I am now left with A square minus B square. Now when we're factorizing a difference of two squares, this is what we mean. Okay, look, this is a difference of two squares, a square term here, and it's being subtracted by another square term. So let me split my screen. So when we expand or when we multiply 2 squared, the difference of two squares, when we expand the brackets, we get a difference of two squares to now factorize. And this is the word that we're focusing on now, factorizing a difference of two squares. So in the exam you may be given a question such as factorize completely. Okay, and in this case we're looking at a difference of two squares. So you can be given, let's say, A square minus B square to factorize. Now when factorizing a difference of two squares, by intuition it would be in this form. So it's as if I'm taking the square root of A square, and you know that the square root of A square would be A square, would be A. So I am opening my bracket, so I'm putting A there, then I'm going to put my negative sign there, and it's as if I'm finding the square root of B square, and I'm going to say the square root of B square is B, close my bracket, and in the next bracket I would put back the same thing, and however I would change the negative sign in the next bracket to a positive sign. So when asked to factorize a difference of two squares, we would get back our bracket. Same thing in both, but the only difference is that in one bracket you have a negative sign and in the other there is a positive sign. So that would be my answer. Okay, so that's example number 1. In example number 2, again, you can be asked to find the difference of two squares. So this really is the general form. I'm going to change it up a bit. You could be asked in the exam to factorize 4y squared minus 9. And again, this is pretty easy. Okay, I am looking at this term here, and is as if I'm going to find the square root. Since I'm dealing with a difference of two squares, I'm going to find the square root of this term. So I'm going to open a bracket and I'm going to say, what is the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of y square is also y. I'm going to put back my negative sign, and then I'm saying the square root of 9 is 3. And then I'm closing my bracket because I'm through with that. And now since it's a square term, a difference of two squares, it means that the same thing must be inside the next bracket. Okay, but in this case I'm going to change my negative sign to a positive sign, and that's my answer. That's how we factorize a difference of two squares. Okay, let me work another question. We have time for another question. Okay, so let me pull that up there. So in question number three, we have, let's say we had k square m square minus 1. Okay, now again, if you notice at the front here, all the terms are square terms and it's separated by a minus sign, and when you look here, this term that we have here is also a square term. Okay, because 1 multiplied by 1 is also a square term. So again, all I'm doing is that the first term that is here, k square m square, I am going to find the square root of that. So the square root of k square would be k, and the square root of m square would be m, and I am going to put back my negative sign, and the square root of 1 is also 1, and the same thing I have in that bracket, again I'm going to rewrite it in this bracket, but the only thing I'm going to change my sign, and in factorizing a difference of two squares, that would be my answer. Okay, and it's that easy. I'm going to pick up and work a few more problems in the next video. Okay, but if you have any comments, feel free to ask. Bye bye.